Hi friends, welcome back. In today's video, let us discuss about an important concept of verbs, which are finite and non-finite verbs. Let's get started. So before that, let us understand in brief about the tenses used in English, because we would be using some of the tenses in the coming slides or in this concept of finite and infinite verbs. So there are three basic tenses in English. They are present tense, past and future tense. Okay, the present tense or the simple present tense represents a habitual truth or a habitual action, general truth or a habitual action. For example, the sun rises in the east, or she wakes up early in the morning. So in this whole concept, I've used the verb dance. Okay, so I can say I dance in the morning, or she dances in the morning. Okay, dance or dance belongs to simple present tense. The present participle form is formed by adding ing to the verb, which is in this case dancing. And the present perfect tense is formed by adding past participle form to has or have. For example, has danced or have danced. She has danced or they have danced. Next, present perfect continuous tense. Its structure or it has the formula has or have plus been plus ing. She has been dancing since yesterday. That means the action started in the past and is continuing up to the present moment. She has been dancing since yesterday. Next, the present continuous tense is formed by adding ing to am or is or are. For example, she is dancing, they are dancing, I am dancing. Okay, these are examples for present continuous tense. Next, the past continuous tense represents the past action. For example, danced. She danced few days back. The past participle form is also danced. That is, it's the third form of the verb. Past participle is the third form of the verb. Next, past perfect tense is formed by adding the past participle to the word had. She had danced. Next, the past perfect continuous tense has the formula had plus been plus ing form. She had been dancing. She had been dancing yesterday. Okay, even this also represents the past action, but it represents duration. That means when it started raining yesterday, she had been dancing from morning till afternoon, or she had been singing from morning till afternoon. Okay, both represent the past actions. Past continuous tense has the formula was or were plus ing. She was dancing, or they were dancing, or they were singing, etc. Future tense represents the future action. For example, she will dance. Future perfect tense is formed by adding the past participle to will plus have. So, will have danced. Future perfect continuous represents a continuous action in the future. She will have been dancing in the evening or tomorrow. Okay. Future continuous tense also represents the continuous action. She will be dancing. So I have explained all these tenses in short or in brief. Okay. In the coming videos, I will be explaining in detail. So now let's move on to our concept of finite and infinite verbs or non-finite verbs. So verb phrases can be either finite or non-finite, and the verb phrases that carry tense are called as finite verbs, and which don't carry any tense are called as non-finite verbs. So in short, finite verbs are nothing but they have an agreement with the subject in terms of person, number and tense. So let's understand with the help of examples. let's see how the verb form changes as per the tense, or let's see how the verb forms portray the tense in a sentence. The girl plays with her toys every day. So this sentence is an example of correct simple present tense. Here the verb form is plays. In the past tense, the girl played with her toys yesterday. The verb has changed from plays to played. Hence, these are examples for finite verbs. Similarly, she always finishes her assignments on time. She finished her assignments few days back. So, these are two different sentences for present tense and correct past tense. And the verb has changed from finishes to finished. Hence, these are also finite verbs. Next, she was waiting in the party hall. They were waiting in the party hall. He will be waiting in the party hall. Okay, was or were. So these two sentences are examples for past continuous tenses. Past continuous tense, she was waiting, they were waiting. When we want to use it in the future or convert in the future, continuous tense, he will be waiting in the party hall in the evening. So the verb forms have changed here from was or were to will be. Hence these are finite verbs. Now let's see how the verbs change as per the person. We shall discuss here for first and third person of the subject. Example, I play cricket. I is the subject which is in the first person. Hence it has taken the verb play. Next, he belongs to which person? Third. And accordingly the verb has changed to plays. Hence these are finite verbs. Similarly, I go to the shop daily. I is the subject which is singular and she is the subject which is third person. I mean, I is in the first person and she is in the third person. And the verb has changed from go to goes. Similarly, I water the plants regularly. She waters the plants regularly. All these verbs have changed their forms as per the number of the subject, first person or third person. Hence, these are examples for finite verbs. And let's see how the verbs change as per the number. Sarah is crying with joy. Here, Sarah is singular. Jim and Joe are crying with joy. Jim and Joe are plural. So the verb has changed from is crying to are crying. Okay, as per the number of the subject. Similarly, she runs 5 miles daily. They run 5 miles daily. Here, she is a singular subject. Hence, it has taken a singular verb runs. They is the plural subject and it has taken the plural verb run. Similarly, he travels so long, they travel so long. The verb forms again have changed here as per the number of the subject. Hence, these are examples for finite verbs. Then, what are non-finite verbs? A verb form that does not show any tense. It has no subject-verb agreement and they do not act as main verb in a sentence. It is opposite to that of finite verb. Okay, here it is a verb form that does not show any tense. They are further divided into three types: gerunds, participles, and infinitives. So, gerunds have the form verb plus ing. Participles also have verb plus ing, but they both have a slight difference which we shall discuss. And infinitives have the form to plus verb. So what is a gerund? A gerund looks like a verb but it acts like a noun. Hence I can say it has the form noun plus ing and it has no helping verb before them. This is to identify the gerund in a sentence. For example, singing has been her passion since she was 5 years old. So, singing appears to be a verb, but actually it's not. Because one thing is sing plus ing. It has taken noun plus ing. Hence it is a gerund. Noun plus ing form. It is a gerund. Next, it has no helping verb in front of it. Is singing, are singing. There are no helping verbs. Hence, singing is a gerund and it can exist on its own in this sentence. Next, running is a good exercise. Similarly, running is a gerund because it has no helping verb in front of it. In the third example, I am fond of cooking. Here, cooking is the gerund because it has the form verb plus ing. Verb plus ing. It is existing in the ing form and it has no helping verbs in front of it. It has a preposition in front of it. Hence it is a noun. Cooking is a noun and we can say it as a gerund. Similarly, they were punished for telling lies. Here telling is also a gerund. Next, what are participles? They act as adjective. That means, for example, this is the most amusing story I have ever heard. Here the word amusing or the verb amusing, it's in ing form. So it can be a gerund or a participle. Now, how can we distinguish them? The word amusing is describing the noun story. Hence, amusing is an adjective and it is in the ing form and hence amusing is a participle. Next example, I found an interesting book to read in the class. Here, the word interesting is describing the noun book. Hence, interesting is an adjective and it has or it exists in an ing form. Hence, interesting is a participle. Next, what is infinitive? To plus the verb is the infinitive. Here we have to read. Hence, it is an example of infinitive. Next, in this example, we are planning a trip to South India to visit all the religious places. We may also visit places in Kerala such as Kumarakom, Venad, etc. where Kumarakom is set amidst swaying coconut trees and calming backwaters of Kerala, and then we may go fishing. So in this sentence, the first verb I can say is are planning. The word planning is in the ing form. So we may think that it's a gerund or a participle, but it has a helping verb in front of it. Hence, are planning belongs to a verb. Next, we have to visit. To plus the verb form. Hence, it is an infinitive. Next, we have swaying coconut trees and calming backwaters. Here, the word swaying is describing coconut trees. Hence, it's an adjective and it has ing form. And calming backwaters, it is the word calming is describing the noun backwaters. Hence, calming is an adjective and it's in the ing form. Hence, they both are participles. And finally, fishing. So, fishing is not describing anything. Okay, hence, fishing is a gerund and it has got no helping verb in front of it. Is fishing, are fishing, were fishing. No. Hence, fishing is a gerund here. Hope you understood the concept. Thank you.